Peace. Chilling at Venice Beach. Just hung out with my friend that was in town. Met her in Bali, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I'm doing these vlogs, just talking to the camera and letting what flow out. So, what am I thinking about today? Attachment, consciousness. You know, I started off running the streets, and then when I was 19, that led to me being in church, and I was in church from 19 to my early 30s. And if you're in church, you have you identify that with that, whether you're Christian, Baptist, or whatever. And as I'm learning along my journey is, we have these attachments to identity. When I left church, and I was studying the law of attraction. Got a show called Young, Black, and Vegan. All of these terms hold with them certain ideologies and characteristics that people say you're supposed to have or whatever. And as I've been going deeper on my journey into consciousness, doing plant medicine and entheogens, what I'm learning is that life is about releasing the attachment to any of these identities. And there's levels. There's no level is better than any other level. Like if you're religious, spiritual, that's a level, and that is teaching you something that is hopefully awakening you even more and expanding your consciousness, and you're getting healing and you're learning lessons. Some people turn to veganism, and that's a level, that's their journey. They're healing their body, and that might lead to higher consciousness. But at the end of the day, all of the things that we identify with, they are there, and not to be married to them and hold on to those things forever. There's no good or bad. Good and bad basically describes duality. And as you raise your consciousness, you realize that there is no duality. We're all connected. Everything is connected. Everybody is at their own point on their own journey. And when we start just paying attention to ourselves and where we are on our journey and getting our growth, because a wise guy told me that, not a wise guy like mafia, but a wise man told me that everything is about growth, everything else is bonus. So it's all about growth, everything else is bonus. And that's really what we're here on this planet for, is to raise our individual consciousness, and then that will lead to raising the global consciousness and doing our part. And so no matter what you identify with, a lot of times that comes with holding a sense of what you have is better than the next person, and none of that is true. It's all false. All of this stuff is an illusion. It's all fake, but the reality is, or the experience is real. I read that quote not so long ago, and it holds true. So all of it is an illusion, but the experience is real. So what we're experiencing here on this planet is real, but all of this other stuff, it's that's another conversation that we can go a lot deeper in. That will take more than one conversation. But yeah, at the end of the day, whatever you hold as your identity, what happens when that's challenged is now you have cognitive dissonance, which means you have two things going on inside of you that are opposed to each other. Back to the duality thing. And you can, instead of saying I'm vegan, I'll just say I'm a person that makes healthy choices, and the best choices for me to maximize my health. So if something was to happen, I'm not craving a burger or anything, but let's say in this hypothetical, if something was to happen in life and I was told or believed that I needed to eat something non-vegan, but I'm vegan, so how do I reconcile that? Yeah, I say that I'm vegan so people understand how I eat, but I'm not attached to that identity, and that goes for anything. So whether I spent a good amount of my time in my life, my adult life, in church, and that's going to Bible college, releasing gospel albums and all that. I know that world. and I understand it, and I understand the people that are in it, and it is serving a purpose. One of the things that I appreciated about church was the community aspect, and that was like missing in my life for a long time. And now that I'm like, you know, diving deeper and raising my consciousness, I'm meeting a lot more aligned people in this world. And when you release an identity, then you open up the door to learn something new. And that's not something new to like form a new identity, because some people I know have left church, but then they went to another extreme ideology, and now they hold to that as the truth. Like, what is truth? Truth is relative. It's based on the information you have, like right now. And once you get new information, that can change, because the mind does not know what the mind does not know. So it's just like a child. When you were a child, couldn't nobody tell you anything. You thought you knew everything. And then as you got older, you realize you didn't know shit, because there's so much more to it. So I don't know how much sense that makes, but that's what's coming through. It's just, it's about raising your consciousness, doing the work. I think I mentioned that in the last video. It keeps going back to doing the work, doing your work. And your work is to love yourself, to get in touch with your higher self, to listen to the messages that you receive, and to follow your intuition and stop putting trust and hope in systems or people, and realize that you are equipped with everything that you need on your journey, and you know everything already. Life, part of this journey is about remembering, and as you go along your path, you're going to be remembering why you came here if you are tapped into that consciousness. It's a lot of distractions. Everything is a distraction right now to keep people from going within and finding out who they truly are and what they're here for. So many distractions, from social media to you name it. If it's not helping you to raise your consciousness, and wait till this plane passes. So hopefully you can hear me, but if it's not something that's leading you to raise your consciousness, to grow, most likely it's a distraction. So pay attention to where you are spending your energy, because everything right now is seeking to keep your attention, and you're not growing. You're finding yourself in the same place month after month, year after year, and it's going to be up to you to do something different, to see something different. And once you become something different internally, that's when your external world will start to change as well. But you got to do the inner work. So whatever that means for you, get into nature, spend some time in nature, being quiet, turn your phone off, meditate. Like, meditation is key. Wake up before you even touch your phone, just meditate. If you're dreaming, that's going to allow you to remember what you're dreaming about. Dreams is a whole nother video that we can talk about, but spend time with yourself, getting quiet. The truth, which is relative, you can find if you seek it. In 2025, there's no excuses for anything. We got the internet, we got access to everything that's ever been written in our hands, and so it's really not an excuse right now. Whatever you want to know, you can know, but we all get the same 24 hours, and these 24 hours are running a lot faster than what they used to. You used to be able to get a lot more done in a day, which is another conversation. So we're gonna have a lot more of these conversations. That's my spiel. I'm at the beach enjoying this view, and I'm about to get up out of here. So let's keep Terrell. This is probably gonna be on the Young Black and Vegan channel, but yeah, I'm not subscribed to that identity. That's just the name for the show. But speaking of subscribed, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, all of the above, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.